I was halfway through my third coffee of the day when my phone buzzed. A text from my mother. "Olivia, don't come to Christmas this year. It's for Finn's sake." I blinked. For Finn's sake? My brother? The same brother I'd spent the last 5 years financially supporting through med school? The same brother who, without me, wouldn't have made it past his sophomore year? I stared at the screen, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. Maybe there was a mistake. Maybe I'd misread it. But then another text came through. It's just, Maya's family will be there, Well, they come from a different background. We don't want any awkwardness. My stomach turned cold. Different background. I knew exactly what that meant. Maya was from a family of surgeons, hospital owners, people who probably donated buildings with their last names engraved in gold. And me, I was the janitor. Not the founder of a multi-million-dollar cleaning business, not the woman who had sacrificed everything to put Finn through medical school. No, to them, I was just a woman who scrubbed toilets. The realization hit harder than I expected. I wasn't just being uninvited from Christmas, I was being erased, hidden, like some embarrassing stain on their polished, well-manicured lives. And the worst part? Finn agreed with them. I put down my coffee, my hands steady in a way that almost scared me. I should have been furious, screaming, demanding answers, but I wasn't. Instead, a strange sense of clarity settled over me. They thought they could just discard me like this? Fine, let's see how well they do without me. I should have seen it coming. Looking back, there were signs, small, seemingly insignificant moments that strung together painted a very different picture of Finn. Moments where he started avoiding my calls, where his tone shifted from warm gratitude to distant politeness. The way he never once mentioned me on social media, despite constantly posting about his journey to becoming a doctor. But I ignored them. Because I loved my brother, because I thought that love meant blindly supporting him no matter what. I was wrong. The first real slap in the face came at Thanksgiving, just a month before the Christmas betrayal. I'd worked a grueling 70-hour week and barely made it to dinner on time, still in my work clothes. Black slacks, a crisp white button-up, the kind of professional attire I wore when meeting with high-end corporate clients. Finn, meanwhile, was dressed to impress. A tailored blazer, polished shoes, a Rolex, the kind of luxury watch he shouldn't have been able to afford on a student budget. I barely had time to sit before one of my aunts, ever the nosy one, turned to him with a beaming smile. "Finn, dear, tell us about your school. I hear you're doing exceptionally well." "Oh, it's going great," Finn said, flashing that charming, confident smile he'd perfected over the years. "It's tough, of course, but I've been managing." Managing? I had spent over $250,000 on his tuition, covering everything his scholarships didn't. I had skipped vacations, skipped new clothes, skipped having any life at all just to make sure he could focus on school. But not once did he acknowledge that. Not once did he say, "My sister made this possible." The conversation shifted, bouncing between Finn's promising future and how lucky he was to have gotten where he was. I waited. Surely at some point someone would say, "And Olivia, wow, you're amazing for helping him." But they didn't. And neither did he. Instead, my mother turned to me with an awkward smile. "And how's your cleaning business going, honey?" My cleaning business? Like it was a cute little side hustle. Like I wasn't employing 80 people. Like I hadn't built it from the ground up. I smiled tightly. "It's going well. We just landed a contract with 2 hospitals." "Oh," she said, barely registering my words before turning back to Finn. "Sweetheart, once you become a doctor, you should look into working at a hospital with Maya's family. That would be such a great opportunity." And just like that, I was invisible again. When Maya finally entered the picture, Finn started changing fast. I was happy for him at first. Maya was smart, kind, a promising doctor herself, but something shifted. Suddenly, Finn was too busy to meet up. Too busy to call, too busy to acknowledge me. The worst was when I ran into them by accident. It was late one evening, and I had just wrapped up a meeting downtown. I stepped out of a cafe and saw them across the street, laughing, holding hands, looking every bit the power couple. I was about to call out to him, but then I saw it. The way his face changed the second he noticed me. One second he was smiling, the next, panic. He grabbed Maya's hand and pulled her into the restaurant so fast you'd think I was holding a knife. I froze. Did he just pretend he didn't see me? It was humiliating. I tried to brush it off, telling myself that maybe he was just in a rush, but I knew. I knew something was wrong, and then came the call from my mother, the final confirmation that I was nothing but an inconvenience to them now. I called Finn immediately. He didn't pick up, so I texted him. "Did you tell Mom to uninvite me from Christmas?" The dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again, and then finally, "It's complicated, Liv. You wouldn't understand." I wouldn't understand? The boy I held in my arms when he was born, the boy I fed when our parents were too busy, the boy I literally built my life around, he thought I wouldn't understand. I gripped my phone so tight my knuckles turned white. I could have screamed. I could have called him, demanded an answer, demanded that he acknowledge everything I had done for him, but I didn't. Instead, I took a deep breath, set my phone down, and reached for my laptop, because I had a plan now. And Finn, he had no idea what was coming. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, my mind replaying every single moment of betrayal, like a movie I couldn't turn off. The way Finn had dismissed me, the way my mother had casually erased me from Christmas as if I were a stain on the family name, the way Finn had hidden me like I was something to be ashamed of. And yet, for years, I had been the one keeping him afloat. Every tuition bill, every rent payment, every emergency call when he ran out of money, I had covered everything. While he studied, partied, played the role of the up-and-coming doctor, I was working 16-hour days, negotiating contracts, running payroll, making sure my employees had jobs. I wasn't just his sister, I had been his lifeline. And he thought he could just cut me off now, that I wasn't useful anymore, that he could build his future on my sacrifices and pretend I didn't exist. No, absolutely not. I sat up, my heart pounding. If Finn and my parents wanted me gone, if they wanted to pretend I was just some lowly janitor, fine, but they were about to find out exactly what happens when you bite the hand that feeds you, because I wasn't gonna lift a damn finger for him anymore. By sunrise, I had my laptop open, going through my finances. I knew Finn was too comfortable. He had no idea what it actually took to keep himself in medical school, because I had made it too easy for him. He didn't check his tuition payments. He didn't stress over rent. He had no idea how much money actually flowed from my account into his life. That was about to change. Step 1, cancel all future tuition payments. Step 2, withdraw as the guarantor on his student loans. Step 3, cut off the monthly allowance I had been sending him for living expenses. It took less than an hour to shut it all down with a few clicks. The safety net I had built around Finn for years vanished. I could already picture the scene. Finn checking his student portal, seeing that his tuition hadn't been paid, the first panicked email to the school, the realization that without that payment, his enrollment was in jeopardy. I wanted him to feel it. I needed him to feel it. The weight of responsibility, the crushing anxiety of not knowing if he could afford to stay in school. The exact same stress I had carried for years, except I had carried it for him now. It was his turn. Finn had built his entire image around being the self-made future doctor, the hardworking med student who had earned everything through talent and perseverance. That was a lie. I had been his bank, his safety net, his support system. I had built his success on my back, and I was done letting him take credit for it. Oh, I didn't need revenge in the form of loud accusations or dramatic confrontations. I just needed the truth to be undeniable. So I pulled up Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, every social media platform where Finn had carefully curated his perfect polished persona, and I posted. Proud moment as my company CleanSource Inc. celebrates its 8th anniversary. I started this business with nothing, and today we've grown into a company that provides stable jobs for over 80 employees. Over the years, this business hasn't just supported me, it's supported my family. It's made it possible for my younger brother, Finn, to pursue medical school without debt. Every late night shift, every extra contract I took on, it was all worth it to see him succeed. Wishing him luck as he continues his studies. I hit post, no bitterness, no direct call out, just facts. But the impact, immediate. The first comment came within minutes. Wait, Olivia, you paid for Finn's school. I thought he had scholarships. Then another. Wow, Finn never mentioned this. That's amazing of you, Olivia. And another, damn, I guess hard work doesn't just run in the family, it's built on your back. I smiled, let the world connect the dots, let Finn explain why he had never acknowledged the sister who had funded his dreams. I didn't have to wait long for the meltdown. The first call came in at noon. Finn. I let it ring. The second call an hour later. My mother. I ignored it. By the third call, Finn left a voicemail. His voice wasn't angry. It was desperate. Olivia, I don't know what's going on, but I just got a notice from school. My tuition hasn't been paid. I thought you, I don't know, maybe there's been some mistake. Can you call me back? I didn't. By nightfall, the texts started. Finn, Liv, I'm serious. I need to talk to you. Finn, why? Isn't my tuition paid? Finn, Mom said you posted something on Facebook. What the hell? Finn, Olivia, please, this isn't funny. I need you to fix this. There it was, the expectation, the assumption that no matter what, I would come through for him. He still didn't get it, so I sent the only response that mattered, me. I'm done fixing things for you. Silence, then, Finn, wait, what does that mean? I didn't answer. I didn't need to. The next morning, I checked my email. Right on schedule, Finn's university had sent him a final warning about his unpaid tuition. He had 2 weeks to pay, or he was out. I wondered how he planned to manage on his own now. By the end of the week, Finn had gone into full damage control mode. He posted a super fake, overly dramatic Instagram caption about how medical school is hard, but true passion makes sacrifices worth it. He conveniently left out who had been making those sacrifices. He tried reaching out to extended family, pretending like his tuition issue was a bank error. And then he made the biggest mistake of all. He called Maya's family, hoping they'd bail him out. It backfired spectacularly because Maya's mother, the same woman Finn had been trying to impress, she used to be a janitor. She had worked her way up, just like me. And when Maya heard about what Finn had done to me, how he had erased my contributions, how he had been too ashamed to admit that his success was built on his sister's sacrifices, she dumped him publicly, right before their big Christmas dinner. And suddenly, Finn wasn't just losing money, he was losing everything. His reputation, his relationship, his future. And I just watched it all unfold. Because for the first time in years, it wasn't my problem anymore. The first thing Finn did after Maya dumped him, he doubled down. I don't know if it was panic, pride, or sheer stupidity, but instead of owning up to his lies, he did what cowards do best. He tried to cover his ass. He called our parents, not to apologize, not to admit he had screwed up. No, Finn called them to turn them against me. It started with a text from my mother. Mom, Olivia, what's wrong with you? Your brother is in trouble and you just abandoned him. I barely had time to roll my eyes before another one came through. Mom, after everything we've done for you, this is how you treat your family? I laughed. Everything they've done for me? Like what? Dismissing my business as just cleaning? Acting like Finn's success was his and his alone? Erasing me from Christmas because my job wasn't prestigious enough? No, they weren't mad because Finn was struggling. They were mad because for the first time they couldn't use me to fix it. I didn't respond. Then Finn tried his own approach. It started subtly. Finn, Liv, can we talk? I ignored it. A few hours later, Finn, I know you're upset, but this is my future we're talking about. Please don't let your anger ruin everything I've worked for. What he's worked for? The audacity almost made me drop my phone. But he wasn't done. Finn, I'll pay you back, okay? I just need time. You wouldn't want me to lose everything over a misunderstanding, right? Misunderstanding? I wasn't misunderstanding anything. Finn had made himself crystal clear the moment he let Mom disinvite me from Christmas. The moment he hid me like some embarrassing secret. But the real kicker, the moment he started lying to everyone about how he had gotten this far. By the end of the week, Finn had convinced himself that if he just said the right things, I would fold. It was almost funny watching him flail. First, he tried to gaslight me. Finn, Liv, come on, it's not like that. You know I appreciate everything you've done for me. Oh, really? Because I hadn't heard a single word of appreciation until now, when he needed me again. Then he switched to playing the victim. Finn, do you know how hard med school is? I don't have time to work. If I lose my enrollment, all these years will be for nothing. Oh, so now time and money were concerns? Funny, because they weren't concerns when he was spending my money on designer watches and weekend getaways with Maya. And when neither of those worked, he tried to threaten me. Finn, you're making a huge mistake. You're ruining this family. I actually laughed out loud at that one. Ruining the family because I refused to bankroll his life anymore because I wasn't willing to let him pretend I didn't exist while still benefiting from my sacrifices. No, Finn, I wasn't ruining the family. I was just finally letting them see what life was like without me. The thing about Finn, he needed to be admired. For years, he had built his entire identity around being the golden boy, the charming, ambitious future doctor who had pulled himself up through sheer hard work. And now, people were starting to realize that was a lie. The comments under my posts kept rolling in. Wow, Finn never told us Olivia paid for everything. That's messed up. Damn, kind of makes you wonder what else he's lied about. Olivia, you're amazing. Finn should be grateful. And the best one, so Finn's been flexing on Instagram with his sister's money? Embarrassing. He must have seen them because 2 days later, Finn did exactly what I expected him to do. He tried to rewrite the narrative. A new post appeared on his Instagram. Success isn't about where you start, it's about where you end up. I've faced challenges, but I've always persevered. Hard work and determination will always win in the end. The caption practically dripped with self-righteousness. No mention of me. No mention of how he had gotten here, just vague, dramatic bullshit meant to paint himself as the victim. And the comments? Not what he was hoping for. Hard work? Bro, didn't your sister pay for your entire degree? Persevered? You mean Olivia persevered while you took the credit? Man, just say thank you to your sister instead of acting like this. It was glorious. But Finn? He still didn't get it. He still thought he could fix this. The real downfall came a week later. I got a call from a familiar number, Maya. At first, I thought maybe she was calling to apologize, or at least to explain, but instead she said something that made me freeze. Olivia, have you seen the guest list for the hospital's gala next week? I hadn't. Maya sighed. Your brother is speaking at it. Wait, what? She continued, sounding embarrassed. Apparently he pitched himself as a motivational speaker, one of those rags to riches stories about making it through med school against the odds. I stared at my phone, completely dumbfounded. Finn was actually about to stand on a stage in front of a room full of doctors and donors and lie straight to their faces about how he had overcome adversity. I almost wanted to let it happen just to see how far he would take it, but then I realized I didn't have to stop him. I just had to make sure the right people were in the audience. So I made some calls, a lot of calls. By the time Finn took the stage that night, the room wasn't just full of donors. It was full of people who knew the truth. And as he started going on about how hard work got him to med school, about how he had struggled to make ends meet, someone in the crowd laughed. Loudly. Then another, and then a voice, clear, unimpressed, dripping with sarcasm. Is that before or after your sister paid for everything? The silence was deafening. Finn froze, his face drained of color. He stammered, tried to recover, but it was too late. He had spent years building himself up, and in one single moment, it all came crashing down. Later that night, Finn called me. I almost didn't answer, but something in me wanted to hear it. When I picked up, his voice was quiet, broken. Olivia, I screwed up. Yeah, Finn, you did. And for the first time, I didn't feel anger or hurt. I just felt done. I don't know how to fix this, he admitted, and I just said the truth. Then maybe, for once in your life, you should figure it out yourself. And I hung up. I hung up the phone and exhaled slowly, staring at the screen until Finn's name disappeared. That was it. For the first time in years, Finn had no safety net, no backup plan, no big sister swooping in at the last second to clean up his mess. He was on his own, and the best part, he had done this to himself. The hospital gala incident spread like wildfire. Apparently, the moment Finn's speech blew up, people started talking. Doctors, donors, board members. It didn't take long before everyone knew the truth. One of Maya's colleagues, a doctor I had never met, emailed me the next day. Olivia, I don't know if you saw, but Finn's speech was, well, a disaster. I thought you'd want to know that several hospital executives were not impressed. Word is, his residency opportunities just took a serious hit. A hit? Finn had spent years crafting a perfect image. Hardworking, self-made, a future star in medicine. That speech was supposed to be his big moment, his final step towards securing the best residency spots in the country. Instead, he humiliated himself in front of the exact people who held his future in their hands. I almost felt bad. Almost. 2 days later, Finn finally texted again. Finn, Liv, please, I need to talk to you. I ignored it. Another text. Finn, they're dropping me. The hospitals I applied to, most of them have either rejected me or stopped responding. Ah, there it was. His golden boy persona, gone. The respect he thought he had earned, shattered. Because once people realized he was nothing more than a fraud, no one wanted him. The very people he had tried so hard to impress now saw him for what he truly was. A man who took credit for someone else's sacrifices, who climbed up on a ladder built by someone else's back. And now that the truth was out, no one wanted to touch him. While Finn's career plans were imploding, something even worse was happening. His finances were in freefall. Since he had never saved a single cent, he had been living paycheck to paycheck. Except his paychecks were my money, and now his tuition wasn't paid, his rent wasn't covered, his credit cards, the ones he had recklessly maxed out on luxury watches and weekend getaways with Maya, were overdue. With no money, no backup, and no one left to manipulate, Finn did the only thing he could. He crawled back to our parents. I found out through my aunt because, of course, my parents wouldn't dare tell me directly. Apparently, Finn had gone home, expecting our parents to welcome him back with open arms. That did not happen. Instead, my father, who had once bragged about our doctor's son to anyone who would listen, blew up. According to my aunt, he told Finn, "You embarrassed this family. You let Olivia pay your way and then tried to erase her. And now you expect us to clean up your mess?" My mother was no better. "Do you have any idea how humiliating this is? We stuck our necks out for you, and now everyone knows you're a liar?" For the first time in his life, Finn was being held accountable, and he couldn't handle it. It took a full week before Finn finally did what I had been expecting all along. He showed up at my office. I had just finished reviewing contracts when my assistant poked her head in. Olivia, your brother is here. He looks rough." I sighed. Of course he was. I glanced at the security camera feed. Finn stood outside looking like a man who had been chewed up and spit out. His once polished appearance was gone. He was unshaven, exhausted, and wearing the same wrinkled dress shirt from days ago. I let him wait 20 minutes before stepping outside. When I finally walked up to him, Finn looked at me like I was his last lifeline. "Olivia, I'm sorry." I leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. "For what?" He swallowed. "For everything. I was a jerk. I took you for granted. I don't know what to do." I tilted my head. "So, what? You want me to fix it for you?" His face twisted in shame, but I could tell he still had some hope left. That deep down, he still thought if he just said the right words, I'd cave. "Finn, let me make this easy for you. You're not getting another dime from me." His eyes widened. I wasn't asking for money. No, I cut him off. "No job recommendations, no connections, no financial support, nothing. You are going to clean up your own mess." He looked like I had slapped him, and then, for the first time in his life, he accepted it. His shoulders sagged. He exhaled shakily. I get it," I nodded. "Good." And then, because I wanted him to feel it, to really, truly understand, I leaned in slightly. This is what it feels like to be abandoned by the people who were supposed to have your back?" He closed his eyes, his expression twisted in regret, and I walked away. Over the next few months, I heard bits and pieces about Finn. He got a job waiting tables, a far cry from the glamorous career he had imagined. He took out loans to cover his remaining tuition, which meant he was now drowning in debt. Maya never took him back, and my life got better. My business boomed. New contracts, new growth, new successes. People who had ignored me suddenly respected me. I finally, truly let go of my family's expectations. Months later, I got one last text from Finn. "Finn, Liv, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I wanted to say thank you. Not just for what you did before, but for what you're doing now. I needed to learn this lesson, and I'm learning it the hard way." I stared at the message for a long time. I didn't reply. Some things didn't need a response, because Finn had finally learned the truth, and for once, it wasn't my problem anymore. Finn's message sat on my screen, unread for days. I'd spent years carrying him, fixing his problems, sacrificing my own needs so he could shine. And now, after everything, after he used me, erased me, humiliated me, he finally realized the truth. But it didn't matter anymore, because I had moved on. For the first time in my life, I was living for myself. I wasn't checking my phone every 5 minutes, worrying about an emergency call from Finn. I wasn't rearranging my budget to cover his rent, his tuition, his credit card debt. I wasn't waiting for my family's approval because I finally understood I never needed it in the first place. I had built a business from nothing. I had created a future for myself on my own terms. And for the first time, I could enjoy it. I booked a vacation, my first real one in years. Not a weekend trip, not a work conference, but an actual vacation, somewhere warm, somewhere far away. And as I sat by the ocean, feeling the sun on my skin, I realized something. I had won. Not in a petty, revenge-driven way, not in a rub-it-in-your-face way, but in the way that actually mattered. I had risen above all of it. Back home, things weren't going so well for my parents. Finn's fall from grace had shattered their perfect illusion of success. The son they had pinned all their hopes on, he was no longer the golden boy. He was just another struggling med student drowning in debt, and without me there to fix everything, their world was crumbling. I heard through the family grapevine that my father had stopped bragging about Finn, that my mother had started making excuses when people asked how he was doing, and for the first time, they were forced to acknowledge what I had done for this family. Not that they ever said it to me, but that was fine, because their recognition didn't matter anymore. Months passed, and Finn finally hit rock bottom. The part-time job wasn't enough to cover his bills. He had to downgrade his apartment, sell his designer watches, and actually learn how to budget. And through it all, I never reached out, never checked in, never offered to help because it wasn't my responsibility anymore. And eventually he figured it out. Finn got a scholarship, picked up tutoring gigs, started actually working for the life he had once expected me to hand him. And for the first time in years, he stood on his own. It was funny, really. He had spent so much time thinking my job made me lesser, thinking success meant being a doctor, wearing a white coat, having a prestigious title. But in the end, it took him losing everything to understand what real work looked like. The next Christmas, I got an invitation to the family dinner. Not a phone call full of fake concern, not a guilt-tripping text, an actual, handwritten invitation. I stared at it for a long time, turning it over in my hands, and then I threw it in the trash. Because I didn't need to go back. That chapter of my life was over. I had spent too long begging for a seat at a table that never respected me. Now, I had my own damn table, and I was never shrinking myself down for them again. Here was a time when I thought family meant unconditional loyalty. That no matter what, you had to keep giving, keep sacrificing, keep showing up. But I've learned something important. Loyalty should never be one-sided, respect should be mutual, and the moment someone starts treating you like you're disposable, like you're just a stepping stone for their success, that's the moment you walk away. So tell me, have you ever had to cut off someone who took you for granted? What was the moment you realized enough was enough? Let's talk in the comments. I want to hear your story.